are getting very, very close to the end. We have recently, while dodging the enemy that's becoming more and more active, taken a couple of pit stops off to the side to deal with some things of a personal nature for the different members of the crew. We were able to find something that can be used to potentially inoculate humans against the enemy, as well as potentially scan to detect presence of the enemy. It's not perfect. We don't know how to extend it to non-humans. Once the enemy finds out about it, we're not sure how long it'll be useful. But that's still pretty huge. We did that. We've gathered some information. We have settled some old feelings, faced some old fears, and come out a little stronger. But I think there's still tension because the enemy is continuing to spread and spread. And the syndicates, the mafias, the crime families are starting to get involved with the enemy in a way they didn't last time. So the stakes are inching higher and higher, and for some reason, Yohan and Daxton, the two of you are suspicious of each other. Why? Let's start with how the two of you have changed.
Yeah.
And then go into why.
I recently got this update.
Systems update.
Systems update, right? I don't know exactly what that necessarily changes about Daxton's behavior. I think maybe they're a little more analytical. They've always been very analytical, but I think a little bit more blunt about things, perhaps. I think it's kind of given them a more data-driven method of seeing the world than just kind of like this happy-go-lucky kind of feeling that as much as an android can be happy-go-lucky. That's what I have for now. Other stuff might come up as we go along, but I think that's the main difference that would have been since then.
On Johan's end, they have softened, I think, in almost an opposition to Daxton, where the missions and working with the captain and getting everyone together, a lot of the withering, dull, deadpan remarks have reduced in their frequency.
There's still so much snark and sass.
Oh yeah, that hasn't like gone away, but it's not personal anymore. It's very much like, oh, this is how we communicate. So Johan has very much kind of come to a sort of peace with what they have to do. But this does make them, I think, more attached to the crew in a paradoxical kind of way, where now it's not like a long shot. Johan does believe that they can do it on a spiritual level, which means that any perceived threat is now a little bit more amplified in terms of how they are seeing it. So they're a little bit more on edge as things get closer to the close.
So where do we think we are? There's a couple choices here, but we could obviously pick somewhere else. We said probably not the shooting range.
Yeah, no, we're not gun type characters, all things considered.
No. I could see, like, near the ship's core where there's sensitive machinery, but I could also see us meeting somewhere else where there is maybe something that is vulnerable, like in, like, a server room or control or cockpit room kind of thing. That could also work, but that seems the most likely in a place that we would end up crossing paths.
I would say maybe some sort of server room would probably work pretty well. We're keeping a lot of our information on the enemy.
Yeah, and we have gathered a lot of information, and there's a lot more to go through, and analyzing the enemy movements. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah, for sure.
The character who has the most to hide takes the first turn. You can choose a leading attack that your partner will answer, and then they respond with a defensive maneuver.
The most to hide. Who would go first?
Can I add something real quick? Just to think
Absolutely.
on. If Johan is feeling so much more connected to the crew and feeling, dare I say, more positive about their circumstances, maybe they've noticed this change in Daxton, who has become more possibly distant and analytical.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I mean, I think I know who has the most to hide, whether or not they realize they have things to hide.
Yeah.
It's not me.
No,
No, it's
It's
me.
not Travis.
It's me. No, it's me. It's me. I don't know how much Daxton realizes what they have to hide, but I think Daxton definitely has more to hide at this point.
I also feel like Daxton might be doing the equivalent of masking when you notice that your blunt analytical statements get a negative or
Yeah.
less positive reaction,
Oh,
or
yeah.
you're starting to think answers that you realize I should keep that one to myself for now. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not a suggestion I could make out loud until I have more data on how that would work out.
Yeah. Okay. So I start with a leading attack. In generally reading these, one of the things I love about this game is how it's often like this character starts and they describe something and then they ask the details to their scene
Yes.
partner, and it makes it.
I
I
think that's
love
a
the
lot of
setup.
fun, yeah.
So good.
It's so great. I'm going to say that Yohan appears to be compromising something essential to the mission. I don't necessarily think that it has to actually be compromising, but it's something Daxton perceives as compromising. Something that is maybe you're just doing something that is normal or something that you've done before, but suddenly now Daxton's like, no, this is going to mess everything up. This is a problem now for whatever reason.
You are sending an update to the Blue Stella Compact about, oh, we didn't find it. Oh, whoops.
I am lying about the results of my personal mission. So that is something that could be potentially be compromising. Oh yeah, I guess the Blue Stella Compact could be, what's the word? It could be compromised, and I don't know it because I've been on the ship the whole time. So yeah, I'm giving them details on my efforts.
The end result doesn't even have to be compromising. It's just you are sending a message to someone that is not on the ship and it's not related to the mission.
Right. And so it's just you appear to be. Like, it doesn't have to actually be compromising. It can be. It'd be funny. Not fun. Funny. It'd be interesting. That's the word I'm looking for. Interesting, not funny. But yeah, you're in the server room working on sending a message. Like, what does Daxton walk in to see?
Yohan, generally is, again, sort of a sci-fi monk aesthetic thing going on. It looks a little out of place using a computer, but it's something that they do, right? So it's just a little weird as they're kind of tapping away and finishing sending up a message. And you do catch that it is being sent towards Blue Stella Compact, one of the nearby parishes. I don't know if I've decided on calling them parishes. Either way, I'm sending it to one of their nearby, groupings.
Nearby chapter.
Yeah, one of their nearby chapters. And upon hitting send, I kind of give a brief wave. And there is, genuine, not warmth, because I find that I struggle with that in general with Yohan. But it is very much we're comrades in arms in this. And I've noticed your changes. I haven't quite picked up on, what they all mean yet, but where I feel like I'm opening up and being more connected, I'm seeing you kind of pull away. So that's where a lot of my tension kind of lies as you come in and go, well, I caught me right as I was finishing, so I should be in your way.
What is it you were finishing?
I completed a personal matter for my order and was sending a chapter, the updates. The captain was with me. It was
Sending updates about what it is we're finding to people that might be using that information against us in some way?
Don't like what you're insinuating. I'm sending a report on my actions on a very specific desert world. It has nothing to do with our mission beyond that we took some time out of our day to deal with it.
It just strikes me, Yohan, that you are the only one who seems to be reporting back to anybody about any of the things that we're doing. Everyone else here is fairly individual in that matter.
Their face just undergoes this shift of individual little micro muscles of just first the nostrils flare and the lips kind of purse together. So you are insinuating that I'm causing problems? Betraying us?
I wouldn't say betrayal. No, I'm simply saying that when there are spaces where information is present and other people are being given access to those spaces, then there can be compromising things that can happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna get angry and I'm going to bring up your past in a painful way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you've come all this way under the assumption that I'm being reckless, that I am putting this mission in jeopardy. And granted, this is a very long shot sort of mission. What exactly were you doing in the meantime? When everything was in flux, when our captain hadn't had the bright idea to bring us all together, were you, taking that bold stance to try to solve everything? Or were you, I'm not sure, pondering upgrades?
As a clarification, you're asking about, like, basically the time before the game, before we all got brought back?
Yeah, like
Okay.
what... Yeah, like what were you up to before the game? Because right now, like, I've only ever seen like this new upgrade that you got, and it seems like it was a big deal for you, and it's like changed you a lot. So now I'm like, okay, so was this all a ploy for you to get your upgrade, right? Like, is that what's actually important to you here?
Before our captain came back into the picture, I was teaching. I may not be the one solving all the problems of our world, but I was at least trying to help get the new minds that could on their feet. The upgrade just happened to be something that was helpful along the way.
Do you even know what it did to you?
I know what it has let me do. I know what opportunities and capabilities it's given me.
And its origins, and its back roads, right? It's completely and totally and utterly safe. It has no bounds to anything that we're fighting. I know my chapters. I know many of them by name, and I trust them to do what is needed to be done, and I have not seen any evidence of their being tampered with by the enemy. But I don't know anything about what's swimming around in your mainframe.
Whew. Man.
Oh, we do two
Yeah,
each.
yeah,
This is fun.
yeah.
We did
Yeah.
two
Yeah,
each.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, this is a real fight.
I know.
Woo!
It's when it's your turn, so
Yeah.
Ian, you get to do
Oh,
a thing
okay.
attack.
I mean, that felt
too.
pretty leading.
Yeah.
I'll be so
Yeah.
real.
So, like, you brought up the past. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, have I seen you doing anything suspicious after the upgrade?
I feel like once or twice you have heard Daxton describe himself as we instead of I.
Oh,
Like
okay.
just like once you
that's-
like, oh, maybe they misspoke, and then another time like that's not coincidence. That
Yeah, you don't do
Right.
that. That's not normal for you, and you're not the type to arbitrarily try new
right,
bits.
right.
I mentioned it offhand, right? I'm just like, I've seen how you talk about yourself since the upgrade. You're saying we a lot more often. I took you to be a singular conscious, but maybe that's changed.
The upgrade has allowed me to try to understand the enemy on a different level. It is not a change on that level that you are speaking of. It is not something that has overtaken me. I am simply... It's like I'm able to see the code. The code has not overtaken me. In terms of defensive maneuvers, I was thinking either I remind you of how much you owe me, or I remind you of the good times we've had together. I think one of the two. I think this one, I don't think it's quite good times yet. I don't think this is like quite a... Maybe after the next one, but this one I think we're still at the peak of this argument. What reason would you have to owe me something that you'd feel like is hard to repay?
I value like experiences a lot, so I would think that whatever fate you saved me from would have eliminated something that I value. Like, it would have been something that would have left myself or somebody, like someone I care about, in a state where they could not form new experiences, whether this is like an intensive disability where they can't necessarily travel or be supported in the space, or this would be like brain damage or something along those lines, like a pretty major toll that I would have experienced had you not saved me.
What if you almost lost one of the names?
Oh, that would have been
Okay.
good. That would have been very
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I think whatever would have happened I would have lost the names.
Okay.
It would have to be something incredibly rare. They would be able to remove the name from you, and then, because I remember we saw you like putting some of the names onto something to leave it on the Pretty Ocean planet. What if there are some people who are able to use that to steal and get blackmail? It's rare, but it happens.
Oh yeah, no, I think that might be something the Blue Stella deals with, is enterprising blackmailers who are like, oh, these people carry the experiences of entire lives on them. If it can take that from them, we can essentially control someone's whole life.
Suggestion. We have also been fighting a series of nanite-infested monsters. It could have been something physically trying to bite your
that's
arm
true.
off or snatch it off.
That's true.
Like,
yeah, and that would have taken everything
physically.
with it.
Either theft or you almost physically lost part of your arm.
Yeah.
I now almost imagine that Blue Stella, you have like this special armor if you were ever in a dangerous, intense situation that literally just covers the arm. It just covers the tattoos.
I think it's the kind of thing where if there's like intense danger, there's a way to send them somewhere, because they're psionic in nature. Like, I think if a Blue Stella Compact member is in danger of dying, they kind of send it somewhere psychically. But with the nanite machines and creatures, they kind of interrupt that cycle anyway, as kind of evidenced by my own tattoos not fading or maintaining that glow. So I think whatever we were fighting probably had the capability to trap them and lose those names forever.
I've not taken on that coding myself. You have to understand that I'm going to be taking every opportunity I have to understand this enemy more. I would not have been able to do what I was able to do for you when that swarm enveloped your arm, and it was about to change every aspect of your physical identity from the inside out. You were about to lose all of the names that you have written there. I would not have been able to do what I did, to interrupt that cycle, to stop what was about to happen to you, if not for this upgrade given to me, if not for the understanding of the way they work. Just because I understand, it does not make me one of them.
All right. Card is to you. How are you leading the attack?
Oh, man.
This is great.
No,
this is a lot of fun.
Fun.
Idea, you're more understanding of the swarm now than you were before. I have psychic resonance of everybody that was turned into a nanite person on my body.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't think, I think of them as people. You might not
yeah.
think of them as that
You're
anymore,
right.
because you have an understanding. And that makes me turbo compromised if you really want to look at it like that.
For sure.
Daxton might be the only one that understands that the resonance coming from those particular tattoos, yes, it is somewhat reflecting like the state of the individuals, but there's also a direct connection to what the swarm is feeling.
Right.
What that central intelligence, or however we defined it, what they're all feeling. And you know that. And you know what that could mean. And you can interpret that however you want.
And although I understand the enemy, I would hazard to say that you're more connected to it than I am.
I'm more connected.
The souls that you have on your body, the memories and the stories and the things that you have written in your very form. You may believe that those are still human in some way because they still remain. I don't think they are what you think they are, and when we inevitably come face to face with those things again, I fear you show them sympathy. So how do I threaten to expose you, or why won't you take me seriously?
The threat is pretty implicit in that you're a sleeper agent, basically, or that you're gonna falter when the moment is needed. And Yohan would have difficulty taking that threat very seriously, because these are not a matter of like science necessarily to Yohan. This is an aspect of their faith, and to say that would open me up to influence is something that I'd never even considered. So I think Yohan just scoffs and goes, "You seem to have a lack of understanding of how it works, what I do, and what is important to me. To think that the sacrifice that we had to make, and the losses we incurred will be the thing that will give me sympathy towards the enemy, frankly, it makes me furious. And I look over and let's see, what do I got for defensive? I lean in and I get real close. If these memories of the stories of our crew is the thing that undoes me, best hope that you are not the first thing I see.
It's a very good threat. It's a very good threat. Yeah, then you get another leading attack there. I think this is our last one.
And I take a step back after that. I don't know when it'll happen, but I do fervently believe that the more you understand someone, the more empathy you show them. That's what I'm all about. You're understanding an ancient alien enemy that wants to annihilate us. So what I'm seeing is that someday, maybe not today, you're going to ruin everything. If not, maybe I will. But I don't like gambling. So we'll have to see. So this is me saying, like, I'm not telling the captain, like, I think you're gonna break. You think I'm gonna break. This is not something we can solve without killing each other. We're just gonna have to hold.
I'm gonna do the come closer and place a hand where it's welcome. I feel like Daxton is a very kind of formulaic person, even when they are the more bubbly, kind of effervescent mood. But I feel like they have a way of addressing and welcoming people. Like maybe it's always like a hand on the shoulder or like grab your elbow or something like that. They always do like when they greet people, especially when it is like people that are close to them, as like a olive branch of connection with like, yes, I know I'm robot, but also little bit human in the way I act.
Yeah.
Something that they just adopted. So where do you think it would be that like that would be that kind of like warm, familiar gesture and touch?
I think it's like a back of the hand thing. Like just like a tap.
I'm kind of flipping this on its head here. Daxton comes forward and as you had like put more space in between, closes that space and kind of touches the back of your hand and holds it there for longer than they normally do. Normally it's just kind of a brief glancing touch, but it like holds their hand there and just says, I've gotten very good at calculating odds. I don't think you're correct. If someone's going to break, it's going to be you. And I'm using that more as an intimidating gesture than a welcoming one.
Oh, that's good.
That doesn't leave us in the we apologize and move on. I don't think it does.
Each player draws one card from the deck.
Yeah.
The player with the highest card chooses an ending.
Oh.
So white or black. Who wants white? Who wants black?
I'll take black.
All right, I'll take the remainder.
Zayan.
Okay, I get to choose the ending. I had the higher card.
Let me reread. You both take leading attacks. Both players draw one card. The player with the highest card chooses an ending. Zan would then draw a card, and that would decide the ending. The first draw is just who gets to pick.
Okay.
So I think the one that makes the most sense is that we attack each other. Like there's no coming back from this based on what we've done. And then you can draw a card and that decides our fate. We don't have a
white or black.
Right, hold on. Let's go with white this time.
One of us attacks the other and another crewman must intervene.
Yes!
Wow. So honestly I was going to do the attacking one.
Yeah.
And
same. That's what I was looking at, and I was like, that one's probably the one that fits the best.
And when I thought we had to choose red, it was one of us dies. I was going to say that, like, basically Yohan, like, severs Daxton's, like, server connection, just like...
No!
So you were going for, we both go for our weapons at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, one of us is badly wounded, leaving a scar that can't be healed.
Okay, no, I understand. Never mind.
Well, it's which one you picked before you knew what the card was going.
Right.
Yeah, so if we're both going for our weapons, then yeah, one of us is badly wounded.
You both draw weapons. What does this fight look like and who gets injured?
I don't even know what Daxton's weapon really is. I think at one point I decided...
We could both be unarmed.
You could also just go to punch.
I mean, that's fair. I feel like Daxton probably has some sort of sci-fi taser kind of thing, like electro baton kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like definitely not something lethal, but something that like would stun, so I think puts their hand on that weapon as soon as they levy the threat of like, you're going to be the first one to break, not me, and like goes to draw it. What does Yohan do?
Yohan kind of flicks their wrist and a club slips into their hand. It's like a truncheon type thing, or I guess closer to like the one in the Nightwing kind of like batons, and is just as ready as you. Like it just slips out of the sleeve and has it in hand. And I'm past words at this point, so I think I lunge.
Who gets wounded?
How long do the two of you fight, and what breaks it up?
I don't think it's very long.
I think Daxton would win
so?
In terms of what. Yeah, Ram. Yeah, no. All things considered, Yohan is not that much of a fighter. I think in order of threat level, in terms of like a combat scenario, it's probably Ram, the captain, you, and then Yohan. I'm not favored to win the fight.
I really like the idea that this doesn't last very long. It sparks very quickly. It's maybe like one or two back and forths, and then injury happens. And I think that that's what kind of like breaks Daxton out of it. It's like that moment of like, I technically just did something that was probably against some of my original programming. I just hurt someone in a way that was not something I was ever intended to do. And I think that might kind of like freeze them up for a second before, and that like makes them like kind of back off and stop that. So
I think you break my hand like pretty significantly.
We both go in with these bludgeoning style weapons, and I think after like a couple blows, I'm able to like pin your hand against like one of the server racks and just like come down like right on top of all those like bones on the top and just shatter the top of your hand, all of those metacarpals.
Yeah. Just absolutely shatters that one. You got that cool android strength, and I don't have that. So it's just all the anger just erupts into like a howling scream. That I'm not going to blow up my microphone to do. As I drop the club, and I'm like spitting venom at you by the time like Ram like bursts into the server room.
Helena's following close behind, but Ram is faster.
Yeah, I think we've returned from our errand, and I hear just this fighting, and I immediately think we're being attacked, that our dear friends are in danger, and Ram is much faster than the captain, kind of shockingly fast when she wants to be.
Helena also had to stop to grab an additional weapon since her sword cane can now only turn into a dagger because something ate the other dagger.
Nope.
And I thunder down the hallway and just slam the doors open and see you two fighting.
Right as the hand gets shattered.
Yes. And you just hear this roar, and in like one leap I make it across the room, and I pick you both up bodily and sling you into opposite sides of the room like you weigh nothing.
What is going on? Oh my god.
What is happening here? Are you both infected? Are you sick? Captain, they could both be compromised.
Helena's already like, this one is bleeding. I'm fixing the one that is bleeding.
I probably got socked in the jaw at least at one point, so I spit out a little bit of blood. Well, time will tell if... How do I put this? They, as in multiple people, decide they don't want to be around on the ship anymore. And I aim at you, Daxton. They in the venom sense, not in the non-binary sense.
Yes. They in the I know you have something more in you sense.
Yeah.
They in the I am Legion.
Yeah, derogatory in parentheses.
They
derogatory.
Yes.
Helena was immediately like starting to try and splint Yohan's hand because like, oh, that looks bad.
Oh, it's real bad.
And just stops and just looks over at Daxton. And like, she knows that was like, there was the possibility, and she's just like, Daxton?
I'll say it again. Just because I understand what it is we're dealing with does not make me compromised. You're the one who's going to have an emotional breakdown when we get there.
Then I hope my training is enough to stop me. And certainly I hope it's enough to stop you.
Daxton doesn't storm out of the room. I don't think they're at that level of emotional wherewithal right now. I think it's just like a very almost creepy calm walk out of the room.
This is great.
Helena is still frozen mid-bandaging and just stares at Daxton.
And they just kind of like look at everyone, like make quick eye contact, turn around and leave very calmly, very matter-of-factly.
Ram has no idea what's going on.
Once Daxton's gone, Helena just glances up at Ram.
Do I follow? What is... You are all letting the enemy get into your heads. And I will, at a distance, follow Daxton to make sure that they're also okay.
Buddy system's important.
It
Yeah, no kidding.
is.
Just make sure you have the right buddy.
Yeah, buddy system.
Yeah, these two were not allowed in the room with each other
Yeah.
again.
No, apparently
And
not.
then I just...
No.
God, we attempt to kill each other
Whoops.
one
Come
time.
on.
Come on.
Yeah. I picture, like, as Ram is following Daxton, Helena just goes back to carefully bandaging and splinting your hand. It's perfect, but she's pretty... I mean, it shouldn't be too surprising that she's good at splinting broken hands.
Yeah. And I can tell it's pretty bad, to the point I'm probably not going to be able to write with it again.
We need to get you to the med bay. I don't know if we have... I don't think we're going to be able to get this to the way it was, but we should be able to at least get it functional. Come on. Help you up.
By your leave, Captain.
And head off to the med bay and probably talk about whatever the hell happened, but we'll do that conversation
Mhm.
later. For now is the card draw that matters. Each of you picks a card. Who wants the white, who wants the black.
I'll take the white.
Black. Loyalty is regained. They were both black!
Yeah!
Yay!
What does this regained loyalty look like? And I'm guessing the loyalty doesn't have to be to the other person that was in the scene, given how that just went.
I would say I'm even more committed to the mission. This is not something I can fail. Moreover, I think you did get to me. I think saying that, like, what if this is going to flare up at the worst possible moment and make you sympathize with them when you have to stop them? It's going to be the sort of thing where now I'm practicing more of the parts of my faith that help me focus those emotions. So I've become even more like, no, I won't. That's a fake prophecy. You're not going to get me with that. So I've become more resolved.
And what about for Daxton?
Honestly, I think it's pretty similar in a way. It's like going back through the update to like make sure that nothing is there that shouldn't be.
Everything's fine.
Seems to be okay. There doesn't seem to be anything out of place or problematic, and I think is now just kind of all the more committed to making sure it stays that way, to making sure that the mission goes off without a hitch. I think the growing hope is that this is something that could be not reversed necessarily, but
Maybe there's another way. Maybe the machines can be made different.
if I'm different, then other AIs can be different, that other things that have a mind of their own like that is not purely biological can be different, and I'm going to be the person that helps make that happen.
I like that. I also feel like you probably clock that while, yes, Ram does kind of follow you and Ram kind of sticks around you, Ram does not make any actions towards you. Nothing happens on that front. Helena probably does sit down and have a conversation about, like, okay, next time, bring someone in to talk it out instead of just beating the ever-loving shit out of each other, please. There's 4 of us, we need to all be functional. And you also clock that Yohan is also typically never left alone because a buddy system and you and him cannot be in the room alone at the same time.
There we go.
And the ship continues on.
It does.
Woo.
Woo!
Okay.
That was
I
great.
love that.